Okay. Laura, can you just send a message on the group saying that we're live now so everyone else can attend it?
Yeah, give me a minute.
Yes. Okay, so hey guys, good evening. Welcome back to ICUF Presents Unfinished Business. And we're so glad to have all of you here with us today. We're live on YouTube as well. So there were many kids who wanted to attend it. So just tell them we're live on YouTube if they're your friends to go watch it there. And it's fine, they will get their certificates and their ECC. So don't worry about that. Laurel will be sending a message on the group as well. So that's totally fine. Just a few instructions before I start off with an introduction. If you could please keep yourselves on mute throughout the session so as to block out any disturbances to the speaker, that would be great. And if you could rename yourselves to the names that you want to see on your certificates, I've enabled the option. So please kindly do that so that we get the Zoom records of for how long you're in and all of that. And if you have any questions to ask, feel free to use the chat section below. And towards the end, if you want to unmute yourself and ask any questions, we will enable that option as well. So with that being said, I would now like to welcome Canada, who is here with us so graciously today. So ma'am, please tell us a little bit about yourself and over to you.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for having me on this call. So I'm Candida Lewis, I'm a biker and I'm from Hubli, Karnataka. So Glenn is actually my neighbor and that's how I know him. And so a little about myself, I've been riding a motorcycle for the last 13 years. And just like everyone else, soon after college, I had big dreams of riding around the world and I did not know how to do that. But yeah, somehow things fell into place for me and now I've ridden in more than 25 countries. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the entire experience and how I got into motorcycling. But I think after I brief you about everything, I will be taking a few questions. So you could leave it in the chats or Anushka would ask me a few at the end of this session. Yeah, but do let me know if you want me to cover anything else, Anushka.
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Okay, so I'll start there. Yeah, so soon after college, I did my BCom. And just like anybody else, I got into a corporate job and I started working as a finance specialist. And I continued doing that for 5 years. And um, even after 5 years of doing that, I was really confused about what I'm doing in my life. And I wanted to do something more. I wanted to keep following my passion and keep doing something into motorcycling, and I did not know how. But yeah, to be honest, since a lot of you all are from Xavier's and there's a priest on the call as well, about to be a priest. So I would like to share that during this very confusing time, I took to praying a lot. And right from the start, I've always believed in the power of prayers. And over the 13 years of me riding a motorcycle, there were very close instances, and I really thought I was going to die or something in an accident. So I questioned myself, why am I alive today? To do something greater in life, to help a lot more people out there. And yeah, when I was in Poland for the World Youth Day, actually, I kind of had a dream that told me that I should just continue riding and praying for everybody and every city that I passed through. So I just continued doing that, and out of nowhere, I got all these amazing opportunities to travel the world and just help people along the way. So that was just how I followed the calling that I had. And yeah, so I'm just going to share the screen and show you all a few pictures. So yeah, so back in 2015, I quit my job at in forces, and I went on a 7-month ride across India, covering 32,000 kilometers and 22 states. So this was a solo ride, and I was blown away by the beauty of our country, and just like how tiny we are in this big, big world. So yeah, I continued riding at that time on my Royal Enfield motorcycle, and what what started to be like a 30-day trip ended up being 7 months on the road. So uh, yeah, a lot of people would stare at me because I'm a woman riding a motorcycle through different parts of India. They never really caused any harm, but they were just curious to know what a girl was doing in such remote parts of India. One of my dreams was to visit the Taj Mahal on my motorcycle, so I took the bike as close as possible to the Taj Mahal and got this picture. So this picture is very special to me. It's from the Grace Valley, which is 1 kilometer away from the Pakistan border. And when you all look at the picture, what do you all see? You'll see just girls behind a veil, which are emotionless. But me being there at that moment, present, I know that all those girls over there were so filled with excitement, so filled with passion, and they all were telling me that they want to see the world just as me, and just do stuff. And each one of them sat on the bike, and like I took them on a small ride. So this moment right there was when I said that I'm never gonna stop riding. I want to influence people and just share the joy and happiness of a motorcycle that I get with everyone else. So that is when I went back home, quit my job, and started riding, continued riding across India. So when I went back home after 7 months of riding, I did not know what to do. Uh, I did not have a job like any 20, I was 25, I guess. Yeah, and I did not know what to do next. But luckily, because I had ridden all across India, I planned on showing people what our amazing country has to offer, which is why I started leading motorcycle tours. And foreigners coming from different countries, I was showing them India on a motorcycle. And then eventually I started leading tours in 7 different countries, and this picture is from Cambodia. So this Cambodia ride was very special to me, is because we were not only riding but doing good as we went along the way. So for 1 month of riding in Cambodia, we were teaching English along the way, we were visiting villages, we were building schools. So this was when I realized that this is my true calling. I don't really want to go back to being behind a computer the entire day, but I want to be out there and creating a difference. Yeah, so this was the 3 riders that were riding along with me through Cambodia, riders from different countries, just making a difference. This is another group that I led across India, and in the last 4 years, I've led more than 45 motorcycle groups across the country and in other countries. So this is how I basically earn my income right now. This is another group that I led in Bali, and I was so proud to say that there were like more girls in this group than guys. So, and all these are Indian girls. So, and basically, the other thing that I would like to share is 5 years ago, even 5 years ago, there was hardly 200 women riding motorcycles in India, which has a population of more than 1.2 billion people. But I'm really happy to say that now, 2020, we have more than 10,000 girls out there riding motorcycles, following their dreams, being independent, and just being awesome. So, yeah, these are just pictures from some of the tours that I've led. some tours have mostly guys, but I'm really proud to be like the only girl riding and beating them in all the trails. Um, yeah, and when people tell you that you are so tiny, you are so skinny, you cannot really handle a motorcycle, you shouldn't listen to them, because no matter what size you are or how much you weigh, you can ride any motorcycle. It doesn't have to be only a motorcycle, it can be any profession. Everything comes with practice. The more you practice, the more easier it gets, the more experience you have on it. It's the easiest thing you can do. So me being just 55 kgs, I've ridden motorcycles that weigh more than four, sometimes some motorcycles that weigh up to 425 kgs. So never really believe what people say. You can do anything, and you are really powerful if you believe in yourself. In the same way, I won a competition in the US and I was flown there. Um, I was selected amongst the whole world for this fund known as the Change Your World Fund. Um, and basically, that gave me a big platform. And also, while I was there at the Overland Expo event, I got to know about this amazing guy who was the same age as me, whose name is Alistair Farland, who was on a world tour. And while he was in North America, just a few months before coming for the event, he met with an accident and passed away. And that's when I realized it's every parent's dream that if their son or daughter goes on a world trip to come back home safe. And Alistair couldn't finish the trip, which is why I decided instead of randomly riding from India to London, I would change my route and ride from India to Sydney and finish the ride for Alistair. Which is when in 2018, August, yeah, just a few days ago, um, I left from Bangalore, and I was blown away by the number of people that came at 6 a.m. in the morning to flag off the event. And that's when I realized that I'm actually doing this not only for myself, but for all the people out there that are following this incredible journey. And then I continued stopping in different places, meeting different motorcycle clubs, people, speaking in colleges along the route, doing short breakfast rides. I was blown away by the people waiting on the highway for me just to like take a video and pictures. And this continued throughout India. And then the first country that I entered was Bhutan, and it was not on my itinerary. Basically, I knew that I had to pass through 10 countries to get to Australia, but I did not have a route. I was just going wherever I felt like, and nothing was really planned. Every day I would choose where to go next, but if I was tired, I would stay in whichever place was close by. So, that being said, the first country was Bhutan, and these are just some pictures from Bhutan. Then I got back into India and rode through Myanmar. Um, yeah. Yeah, this is a picture from Myanmar, beautiful temples. From Myanmar, I entered into Thailand. Then I went into Laos, and this is a picture from Laos where I was teaching English as well for a couple of days. So, like I said, the route wasn't planned. So, if I liked a certain place, I would even stay there for a week or two. And this was during my birthday when I was in Cambodia. I was at a village and they basically did not have any ingredients for a birthday cake. So what they did was they took a pumpkin and filled it up with some custard or some milk kind of sweet, and that's what I cut for my birthday. But this was really sweet and really special, and I don't think I've ever had a more better birthday. So yeah, these are just what makes every journey special. And this was when I got lost in Indonesia. and this small boy saw me riding through the middle of a field, and he was like, "Are you lost?" And I said, "Yes, I am." and and we were basically communicating on Google Translate, and he wrote, "Can you come to my house?" And I was really scared, and I did not know whether I should go to his house or no. But then I said, "Okay, anyways, I'm lost. What more could happen?" So I followed him to his house, and then within, like, say 10 minutes, the entire small town were all at his house. Everyone were like singing Hindi songs and just trying to make me feel special, and just was so happy that I was there. And then basically they like took me to the closest hotel, and it was a really nice experience. So yeah, these are just pictures from along the way. This was at a volcano mountain in Indonesia. It's an active volcano. A very special moment for me was when was at Malaysia, at the Petronas Twin Towers. But yeah, so basically, like any journey that you undertake, always has its highs and lows, always has obstacles. So there were, so this picture was taken when, uh, one day before this picture was taken was when I actually fell in the bathroom and kind of broke my wrist. And but I had just 2 days to exit Thailand, so I knew I had to ride out of the country. And it was very painful for me to ride a motorcycle at that time with the pain on my wrist. But yeah, I continued riding, and then I got lost in a national forest over there, following some homestay that I wanted to go to. And because I had no control over my wrist, I couldn't accelerate properly, and then the bike continued to fall at least 6 7 times, and the terrain also made it very difficult because it was very slushy and slippery. So this at this moment, I kind of thought to myself, what am I doing? Why am I doing this in the first place? I should just go back home and live like a normal happy life. But then, yeah, so there were always bad times. But then when you uh, when you like go through it, and when you have a goal that you focus on, I think the bigger picture is what makes it worth it, and you just want to continue doing it. So yeah, this is just a picture of riding through the floods in Indonesia. The biggest task for me was when I got to Bali. So basically, I will show you the route at the end of this, right? But once I got to Bali was when I had to ship my motorcycle to Perth, Australia. And that's when I knew that Australia has very strict quarantine laws, which expect that any motorcycle coming into the country has to be brand new. So after riding for so many months, my motorcycle was so dirty. So I had to sit for 3 days, clean each and every wire, uh, chain, tires, everything. I had to strip the whole motorcycle and put it back together in 3 days, which was the toughest part for me. So these are just pictures from that. This is a picture from me diving, and this is how I joke to people that this is how I rode across the ocean. But no, that's not true. Once I got to Bali, I actually put the motorcycle on a ship and I flew to Perth, Australia, and then continued riding. So this is a picture when the motorcycle reached Perth after 2 long months. A big delay, but yeah. Yeah, so then I tell people that Australia is like a zoo. It's amazing. It's so rich in its flora and fauna, and also in all its wild animals and sea animals and all of that. So everywhere you go, it's amazing. Also, riding through Australia, which is so remote, and it's such a big country, I realized how important food, water, and petrol are. And yeah, there were some days that I never saw anyone for 3 to 4 days, just camping out in the bush. sometimes a lot of scorpions. Um, yeah, and then I and also riding in Australia taught me how to click my own pictures, because there's absolutely no one around to click pictures for you. At least in other countries, if I would wait for 5 to 10 minutes, someone would pass by and I would hand over my phone or camera. But then Australia taught me that this is just a picture of me chilling with a kangaroo, because I told you there's a lot of wildlife. And then finally, yeah, here's the route from India to Australia. So basically, I rode from Bangalore, went to Hyderabad, and then took the coastal route to Siliguri. From Siliguri, I entered into Bhutan, spent a couple of weeks over there, and back into India through the northeast and into Myanmar. Then I rode through Myanmar into Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore. And then from Singapore to Indonesia through a couple of islands. And then when I got to Bali was when I shipped my motorcycle to Perth, Australia. And then again rode from Perth to Sydney, Australia. So this was basically the entire journey. I had planned to do the entire route in 4 months, but I took 8 because I realized that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity and I should really experience it, really enjoy the entire journey, which is why it took so much time. And the most special part of the entire journey was meeting Alistair's mother, who was waiting for me at those world famous icons at the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Opera House. And yeah, so I finally was able to finish the ride for Alistair and for his parents who were following me through this entire journey. And what a proud moment to ride a Karnataka registered motorcycle through all these countries and have it at this very special place in Australia. Yeah, and there were a lot of my friends and family that came as well to celebrate this entire journey. And then, yeah, after I finished the ride, I stayed at Alistair's place for about 2 weeks, and it was very special. And yeah, that completed the entire ride from India to Australia. And so after that, I've just been writing, just been seeing a lot more of India, been leading tours, giving talks. But yeah, I think I was able to complete the entire journey again because of the power of the press from my parents, from my friends, and everybody. And uh, yeah, I think that covers the presentation that I had. It's about half an hour. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask me, go ahead.
Okay, I think there are a few questions in the chat section already, if you want to check them out.
Do I plan on going on a world tour? Yes, I definitely plan on going on a world tour. I think I've ridden in almost 25 countries so far. Not all of them on the same motorcycle, but different motorcycles. But someday I plan on riding throughout the world on one motorcycle. I don't know when that's going to happen, but hopefully someday. And how did I convince my parents, or how did I tell my parents that I was doing such a trip? So, like I said, I've been riding a motorcycle for almost 13 years. It was a gradual process. In the beginning, I was only doing like 50 kilometers, 80 kilometers, just doing weekend rides, just riding around Hubli. Then I started riding in Karnataka, then throughout India. So once I proved to them that I can take care of myself, that I can handle this difficult situations, I think it was very easy for me to convince them. Actually, when I told them that I was doing this big ride, they did not even say anything. They were pretty cool with it. So yeah, you just gotta be patient. When your time's right, that's when you do it, and everyone will be supportive of you then. Um, yeah. So you basically need a visa for every country that you go to. That's the most important document. But I've made a detailed um, documentation video of what you basically require on an international tour, and those videos are on my YouTube channel, which is Candida Lewis. You would find that video over there, but it's basically very easy. Only a few documents that's needed, and you can do an amazing ride just like this. um, what is the best part of biking in different countries? For me, it's the people that I meet on the way. uh, every person that I met, every story that I've heard is so special. Just the just how traveling has made me trust everyone is incredible. Like, in a world that is so afraid of so many things, being out there on a motorcycle has really allowed me to trust in a few people. And from those moments, I've experienced really great things. Like, so many times, like, truck drivers would stop and help me if I had any difficulty with my motorcycle or any breakdown. Also, sometimes if I do not find a place to stay or do not find a hotel, um, somebody or someone would offer their house for me to stay at. So these are just special moments for me on the way. Um, yep. So, do you want me to answer any questions? So, guys, I've actually ridden a lot of bikes. Along with doing motorcycle tours, I also test ride most of the motorcycles that newly launched. Or so I've ridden mostly all the motorcycles out there. When did I ride a motorcycle for the first time? For the first time, I rode my dad's motorcycle. That was, say, 16 years ago, just for a round around my apartment. But yeah, 13 years ago was when I started riding and got a motorcycle. The most beautiful country that I've been to, I can't pick a favorite because every country is special in its own way. But I definitely would say Australia because I love how big and remote the country is. And just by staying alone in such a remote country has taught me to be a lot more braver, a lot more independent, and just being alone with all those deadly creatures and stuff out there has made me a lot more stronger. So, yeah. So I think I've answered most of your questions, and yeah. Anushka, do you have anything else?
I think there are a few more. Should I go ahead and read them out to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so someone asked, which is one country you tell a biker not to go to?
I would never tell anyone not to go to any country because, like I said, every country is good. every country is amazing. It's just the people that you meet that make or break a country. It's those experiences that will change everything for you. So I think if you take time out and research on where you're going, and if you use social media to connect with people that you think might show you around, though that can definitely change the entire experience for you in any country.
Okay. There's another question. What was more difficult? Was maintaining the bike on your journey more difficult, or the routes of your journey?
Um, more difficult maintaining my bike. Okay, so the reason why I took the Bajaj Dominar on this big ride was because it's so reliable, because it was very affordable, and because of the features on the motorcycle for that price. So I did not really have to think about my motorcycle too much because it just went everywhere. I took it through really bad roads, through crazy terrains. And there were a couple of times that were I was riding with a few bikers from Germany, from Luxembourg, and other places. And sometimes at the end of the day, they would always have to sit and service their bike, but I would just go out and explore the city that we were at, because that's how trustworthy and strong my Sky was, which is my bike. So basically, I was only concentrating on where to get, but I just had to do the normal checkups every day, just oil the bike and the chain and just the normal stuff like that, and nothing much. So basically, I would say the terrains were definitely tough. Every country had its ups and downs. I was there during the earthquake in Bhutan, so the roads were all messed up, broken. uh, Riding through the floods in Indonesia. So 15 days of flooded roads, crazy amount of water. I missed the tsunami in Indonesia by 1 day. So yeah, definitely the journey was a lot more difficult than maintaining my motorcycle.
Okay. Could you tell us a little bit about your book, Candid Tales?
Yeah, so Candid Tales is my book that was launched the starting of this year actually, and it was written by a writer named Aditi Rao. From my experiences across India, the ride that I told you about, which I did in 2015, the 32,000 kilometer ride in 22 states. So 10 stories from 10 of these different states were taken and made into a book. Along with that, it answers a few questions as well. And yeah, I'm so happy that I have a book. And right now, during the lockdown and quarantine, I'm actually working on another book about the India to Australia ride. So that is another reason why I don't want to like answer questions in detail, because you will have to read them in the book, and there's a lot more stories out there that I haven't told anyone because I want it to be special and write everything down in detail. So yeah, coming soon, people.
There's one question. What were Alistair's parents' reactions to you completing his journey?
I think I already said that they were really, really happy. Uh, I was sending them pictures almost every day during the entire journey, and it was very special to meet them at the final stop on the journey. And the most special thing was like staying at his house, sleeping in his bedroom, and visiting his grave with his parents. It was a very emotional and spiritual journey for me. And the more I stayed at his house, the more I got to know about him. And it kind of actually felt that I did finish the ride for him, because on the way there were so many experiences that made me realize that these were some of his favorite things. I met a lot of his friends as well on the journey. So yeah, so very special day for me, meeting his parents. Yeah.
Okay. So I think we'll end with one last question. How did you never stop giving up? That's a very vague question, but I think we all need inspiration in these times.
um so basically for me, um I know that I need to put food on my plate. I know that I have to look after my parents when they get old, and I'm the only daughter, so I have to be there for them. So which is why I try to work really hard. I know I'm young right now, so I want to do everything I possibly can so I can retire young and just travel the world later. So which is why I work very hard again. uh, so like to give you an example, when I was working at Infosys, I would go to work at like say 8 and then finish work at 8 in the evening, but I never wanted my passion to die by just working. So soon after work, I would go ride out of the city on my motorcycle, come back at home at 2 in the night, and go back to work again in the morning. Plus, on the weekends, I was working at an event management company. So I was working 7 days a week for 3 years straight. Plus, on like, so event management in the evening, and in the morning, I was training women to ride motorcycles. So I've trained at least 150 girls in Bangalore to ride motorcycles. So that was what I was doing full time. Just so, uh, and especially, I would really like to tell you that when you quit your job, it's never going to be easy until you're going to risk everything and you're going to give your best to follow your passion. Don't do it because it's very tough. So soon after I quit my job, the first 3 years were the toughest. I was doing multiple jobs to pay my bills, and to follow my passion, but only after then was when I saw the fruits of my hard work. And yeah, even right now it has been a struggle. I haven't had any work for 6 months because of the lockdown, because there's no travel is my main job and nothing's happening. And I do not want to waste time during the quarantine, so I started doing artwork. I started making a lot of stuff and selling, so that's keeping me busy now. So that's the thing, never give up, because I have to put food on my plate. I never take money from anyone else. I know I have to earn it myself. So if you have something like that in mind, you would definitely work hard and do things. Yep.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Candida. Thank you for being so honest and telling us everything. Now, I'd like to request Glenn to, give you the word of thanks. But as he's doing that, I request all of you to please turn on your cameras so that we can take a picture for documentation. And I will be sending the feedback form link in the chat box after the picture is taken.
Okay. 300. Nice to
Okay, so
see
this
everyone's faces.
finally everyone's out of hiding. Okay. Okay, guys, are you ready? At the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Thank you so much, guys. Glenn, we want to hear you talk. Please say thank you. And guys, your certificates will reach you only after the 10th of September now. So please be patient and do not leave the WhatsApp group. We will be sending you a drive link for all of your certificates.
So nice to see all of y'all. Everyone's super young. I hope some of my words would definitely inspire you all to go out there and follow your dreams, follow your passion, but just believe in yourself and work really hard, and you can definitely do wonders. And yeah, keep on praying and working hard. And thank you so much for having me on this call. And thank you,
And
everyone.
Candy?
Do follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Thank you.
So, as I say, gratitude is the attitude of multitude. You have reached out to so many people all over the world, all over so many countries, touched so many lives, inspired so many people today itself. I remember Candy as I was young, she should take me to school when I was young on a cycle, on a scooty. So since then itself, Candy was very loving, very kind, ever ready, ever helpful. She was the first one to give me a blade when I was small. And Candy was really a dynamic personality. I really thank you, Candy, for all that you have done to the world, to so many people. Thank you especially for being with us today and inspiring all of us. I'm sure many of us are touched to go out and live out our dreams. And also, we wish you all the best for the future. I know you're going to do really well, all of us, especially me, damn proud of you. And keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Do follow her.
Thank you so much, guys. Please go follow her and follow her journey on YouTube as well. And yeah, thank you so much for joining in. We will see you tomorrow. Your certificates will reach you soon. So will your ECC scores. So thank you so much, Canada. Again, thank you so much for coming, everyone. And fill the feedback form. It'll be open till 6 p.m. And have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Thank you so much. Do I get a certificate as well?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Good evening.
Bye.